Well, at least I know it won't. Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all? Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, episode 12, I believe. Guys, how are you doing? I want to say thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Uh, I know I've been recording a few of these episodes a week or two in advance just to get them ready. I don't want to wait to record an episode and then forget about what I talk about. Like, okay, no, let me take that back. I want to record an episode while everything is still fresh in my mind and not wait till the night before an episode is due and then try to remember everything. Yes, I do take some notes, some bullet points here and there just to remember what to talk about along the week. But I'd rather do it while it's still fresh in my mind and I want to talk about things. So sometimes I write some things down and then I realize when I look back over the notes, it's just, okay, it's not really worth, you know, I guess I just write down all the stuff, all the material that I want to talk about, and then I just kind of whittle it down depending on how much time I have and everything. And it also depends on who I had on the guest recently. I hope you guys enjoyed having Viet and Jackal on the podcast earlier this month. I know I had a blast talking to them, and I know the podcast kind of went on a little bit extra, but you know what? If it does, it does. It's great. That's what I prefer. Just have the conversation flowing, and hopefully just not have it stop without, unless it has to stop. And even if it eats up on some other podcasts where I have to maybe go on do some less time on the runtime, less on the runtime, then so be it. It's fine. We'll work it out, guys. But anyways, guys, I just want to say thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And we are on episode 12. So, guys, how was y'all's weekend? Let me just talk about mine right quick. I was able to join my wife and my friend Ruben at Comic Palooza. My wife, she does her little art shows at the major conventions down here in Houston, Texas. So we had Comic Palooza this weekend of what? That was between the 15th and the 17th. And then next week, not next week, I'm sorry. In 2 weeks, we have Anime Matsuri from the 29th through the 31st. I'll be taking some days off so I can help her, really prepare and get things ready. And that's a big one. So I want to make sure I'm rested when I go to work when I go back to, well, I'm going to take off Friday and Monday. So that way, when I go back to work Tuesday, I'll be refreshed, topped off, and ready to go. So, anyways, Comic Palooza, it was really fun. If you are a fan of Stranger Things, there was a lot of that. I saw a whole bunch of Hellfire Club t-shirts like everywhere. I was like, okay, Stranger Things, I gotta watch it. And sure enough, I got home from work. I hear the TV blaring. I was like, Mikhail, are you watching it without me? Because I don't know if I told you guys or if y'all recall, but I canceled my subscription for Netflix. I believe at the beginning of May. There was just nothing on there for me, and I was at the point where I was going through all my subscriptions and trying to weed out, like, okay, which ones do I not use? What is something I don't find of value? And especially coming off the heels of Netflix saying, oh, we're gonna increase the price again. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then sure enough, here comes the summer. Here's Stranger Things. Here's Castlevania that's gonna be coming out. Here's Umbrella Academy. Here's what else? I'm sure there's tons of shows that are going off that are everybody's watching around, and I'm missing out. It's just like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me I didn't. The wifey just went ahead and re-upped on the subscription, so we'll go back and binge watch some stuff and see what's up. But guys, on this episode, I want to talk mostly about your backlogs and what are you guys doing about that. And we'll talk about some other subjects when they come up. But I want to focus on backlogs, especially in this month of July, summertime. That's usually when we usually, as video game enthusiasts, usually don't get many drops or releases during the summer. It's always been, I don't know why, but it always feels like that's a slow time for video game releases. It for sure. You guys can always count on, the autumn releases where you get your Call of Duties. Activision likes to drop those around then. Then you have, of course, the holiday sales. That's when a lot of major publishers bring drop the big old the big boys, the triple A, the quadruple A titles drop their main titles, and of course, usually between Q1, Q2, anywhere between January to March, you'll get some other stuff coming around, but it always feels like the summertime. It just goes into a lull. And I figured with nothing much on the horizon that interests me, and I don't know what, maybe there's something that did come out for you guys that y'all are looking forward to playing. I figured this is a good time for me to focus on my backlog and play some games that I've been trying to get around to. And as I started with a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I started playing Returnal. It came out originally in, I believe the guys were telling me, in March or in April of 2021. It's a bullet hell roguelike bullet hell roguelike set with this really creepy sci-fi setting. And I was playing it, I enjoyed it. It was fun. But my only problem is, and it's hard for me to say this, but I do not like the fact that I just don't like some of these guns. I don't like the pistol. I don't like the shotgun. I like the I believe it's called the hollow rifle and the tachometer rifle. It's basically a battle rifle and a light machine gun. And those guns I really enjoy. Those are fun to shoot. They have different abilities and alternate fire ratings. Oh, and the alternate firing, guys, is pretty cool. This is the only game I've seen that I have played on the PlayStation 5 that utilizes this, where when you're pressing down on the left trigger, there is some tension that goes halfway. So when it's halfway pulled and you fire your main weapon, it's just, shooting your regular bullets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you hold it and it just shoots until you empty out your magazine. And then you do what I would like to call a tactical reload, kind of similar to Gears of War, if you guys remember that, where if you can reload it during a window when the little reload gauge comes out, if you could reload it in that window, you get a faster reload, and I believe maybe increased damage. I'm not too sure. So, but you got to remember to hold down the firing button, because if you constantly mash it, and then if you're not keep an eye on your how many bullets you have on your magazine, you're gonna just overshoot and then quickly do you're gonna have a failed reload. So you just kind of have to hold the trigger down to shoot. But I noticed that, so once you have the left trigger halfway pulled, you just shoot your regular bullets. But when you press it in all the way and then fire, you have your alternative fire, and it could be cluster bombs, grenades, electroshock, armor piercing bullet, or just random what it is. And I think so when I'm playing the game, it starts you off. Sometimes you get the pistol or the next upgrade to shotgun. I'm just, I don't like these guns. And it's strange because playing Dead Cells on the Switch for so long, I won't say so, okay, 80 hours. I think that's a good amount of time. And playing it on PC, even though there's some weapons I do not like, they're always throwing different weapons at you that you're gonna, even if you see something you don't like, you will pretty soon, even at the same biome, come across something you will like. And there's a whole variety of weapons, between crossbows, bows, melee weapons, ranged weapons, tentacles, swords, clubs, everything. If you guys ever played Dead Cells, y'all know the weapons are just insane and just very creative. In Returnal, not so much. And it just, oof. And of course, I'm saying this, I've only put maybe 5 hours, 6 hours into the game. There's still more. I'm up to the second boss already. I have to beat him so I can unlock the grapple hook, and it will unlock more, give me access to different areas in the map. So I need to go do that. And I believe once I beat that boss, and he's not that hard, I got to get the patterns down. And the real challenge is and I'm not saying I don't like the game. It does give you some challenges. It does give you it does push back, and that's what I do like about games, for sure, for sure. But it's just the starting hand that you draw when it comes to weapons, or it almost feels also you get these. I think they're called mutations or these parasites, and they have some benefits and drawbacks. And true to a roguelike, sometimes you get these artifacts that give you buffs, and sometimes you don't find them, and not everything is permanent. It's like, I guess that's a little annoying, but it's, again, me playing Dead Cells. I've kind of, excuse me, guys, me a drink. I should be used to that. I'm just not clicking with the game, but I don't hate it. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna play it again, and I'm gonna beat that boss. And once I get that boss down, I'm sure I'm gonna get motivated to play some more. But I just gotta get back in there. And also, on a technical standpoint, me streaming from the PlayStation, my Elgato capture card, it's an HD60S. It's a little bit older. It came out during the last gen consoles, so it's perfect for those. But for the current gen consoles, you have to capture at 60 frames per second, which is fine with me. That's what I do, and that's the only thing. Like, that's I don't think Twitch really captures anything on the high end unless you're partnered or something. But just for an affiliate that I am, if I could do just 720, well, I was stream at 720 at 60 frames per second, so it could do that. But the capture card, sometimes after a while of playing, the audio desyncs from the gameplay, and I don't like that, because you fire your handgun or your rifle, and then just half a second later, you go poof. I just don't. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but when the audio is just desynced, it just drives me. Like, you get audio cues from playing your games, so when it's slightly off, it drives me wild. So what I would have to do is, and it's not major, guys, I would have to go to OBS, deactivate the capture card, wait a couple of seconds, because the image has to go through it from the PC to the capture card, to the capture card to the screen, to, how's it going? No, it goes from the PC to the capture card to the console to the screen, and then from the screen, relays the image back to the console, the capture card to the PC. So so I have to take a few seconds, deactivate, let it reset, activate it again. Okay, and I'm good as new. So during the Comic Palooza event, I messaged Ruben. I was like, Ruben, can I borrow your capture card? It's the same thing that I have, but I figured maybe mine is just crapping out, so I want to borrow his, and if it works and functions as intended, okay, cool, I'll probably replace it. If it's still giving me problems, I don't know what to do. I know there's a new Elgato capture card out in the market, HD60X, I believe, for the current gen consoles. But I don't want to just drop $2 on something that I don't know will work or not work. So we'll see, guys. We'll just kind of play it by ear, and hopefully this one works. But yeah, Returnal is a fun game. I slept on it for a long time because Ruben bought me he gifted me a copy of the game, and I got it. I downloaded it, and I just sat on it. It's just like, okay, whatever. And then, of course, this time of year, nothing much to play. I was like, okay, I kind of want to go back to Final Fantasy, but I don't want to play Final Fantasy right now. I want something more action. Because, Final Fantasy is action, but there's some lulls there where, you got to wait and talk to everybody, and there's dialogue. And Returnal, not so much. Maybe here and there you get a cutscene where some story happens, but for the most part, you're just shooting and shooting and shooting and surviving and dying. It is a challenge trying to get to the boss with having health pots in reserve while still being relatively healthy, while having an adequate enough weapon, because you can do a shortcut to get to the boss as soon as possible, but the drawback is you're not able to find resources and upgraded weapons to be on par for when you get to one. Like when you get to this level, when you enter the second biome, they do provide some weapons that are close to that level, but they're just they're, it's okay. And sometimes you need more than okay. You have to be you want something really powerful or something that really fits your playstyle. And again, when I get the shotgun or the pistol, even if they're a higher grade, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't like the fire rate. I don't like how it handles and stuff like that. So, but I want to go back to the game. I'm going to play it and we'll take it from there, guys. Because I don't hate it. It's just not clicking right now. And sometimes I've noticed that about me myself is that if a game doesn't work for me, it doesn't click for me right away, I could just put it down and then come back, whether it's a week, a month, even a year later, and try it again, and then happen to just get in sync with the game and get to know the rhythms and the mechanics and just get in sync with the game and play it and enjoy it. Because that's what happened with me when I played Fire Emblem Three Houses. And it first came out, I saw it, I was just like, no, not my cup of tea. Didn't care and nothing at all. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what triggered it, but I had an itch to play it. And man, once I was able to, what happened was my wife, she played it and beat it. So I was able to, because they have a lot of mechanics and sometimes they just kind of vaguely explain something, but I was like, what does this mean? So, my wife, she beat in the game. I could use her as a reference and I'd ask her like, Mikhail, what does this mean? What's the best way to increase their happy bars and everything, their happiness? She's like, oh, well, the best thing to do this, do that, do this. Like, oh, okay. And once I started getting it, once having the mechanics explained to me by someone who's already done it, like, okay. And then of course, and I mean, I'm sure I've already spoken about how I played that game already, but I did enjoy it. And I was talking to my buddy Lax, and he was telling me that he's been playing Fire Emblem Three Hopes. It's a Muso style one, and he said he's been having a blast. He's enjoyed it so much that he went back and purchased Three Houses, and has been enjoying that. So, I'm sure I told you guys already, but Three Hopes is on my radar. I do want to play it ever since playing Three Houses and playing Persona 5 Strikers. So I do want to come around and play that game. But again, I don't want to add more to the backlog than I have to, because I already have Returnal on there. And then, silly me, I put Dark Souls 3. It wasn't like even on my backlog. It was just something I was like, okay, I finished Elden Ring. I still want to play something. I still want to play something from Fromsoft, but that's close to that. I do want to play Sekiro, but I'm pushing that one off until August, till my next vacation, and that's when I want to really focus on that game. I want a week straight to just play that game and go back in there and have a year, being a year removed from that game, coming back after revisiting Dark Souls 3 and playing a lot of Elden Ring. Like, how does Sekiro stack up after all playing these two games? So I want to come back to that game, and I'll talk more about it when that comes around, guys. So wait around for August, and we'll go back to Sekiro. But focusing on Dark Souls 3, going back, I was like, wow, you can really tell the difference, especially coming fresh off of Elden Ring and going into Dark Souls 3. There is just a world of differences where everything is just so streamlined in Elden Ring. It really does spoil you when you go back to Dark Souls 3. And not to the point, it's not your soul spoiled that going back to Dark Souls 3 is an impossible task or daunting or just unplayable. No, it's still very much playable, still very much enjoyable. You still get the feeling of holding your breath and hoping you get your last attack in, or being able to dodge and get out the way before they kill you. And of course, especially when I was exploring the undead settlement, like, oh my god, that area is so huge, and having to go around and find things and shortcuts. And honestly, guys, it's been such a long time since I played Dark Souls 3, having to go back and trying to do like mental notes of where I was and where to go, and I forgot, completely forgot. So I have to go back. And even though I was in the undead settlement last week and playing that Saturday night, I need to go back and fully explore it because I know I've missed some stuff. Excuse me, guys, I'm gonna drink. I know there's a lot of stuff that I missed. I need to go back and explore and talk to and revisit. And just going back to Dark Souls 3, I have to. It's I still remember moments and glimpses of when I first played it and doing New Game Plus because I played it a lot. I think I had I want to say 80 hours or maybe a little bit more on one of my main playthroughs. So I do remember some of it, but I forgot a lot of it. So where are we at right now in the game? I believe I just finished defeating the Abyss Walkers, that brotherhood of the wolf-looking guys, and I unlocked the entranceway into the catacombs. So I'm at the very beginning of the catacombs, and I'm also exploring Cathedral of the Deep. And right now, that is my main focus, is exploring Cathedral of the Deep and clearing that out. But again, it's so intertwined and wraps around and comes back. And some of the bosses are like, oh, I mean, of course, I like this, but I have to remember, like, get all the brain fog and cobs out of the head and try to remember and just go through it all over again. And this time, I was very fortunate when I played it the first time. I was, what did PlayStation have back then? I think they still have it. Is it stream sharing or where you could share your screen with one of your buddies? So I would share my screen with my friend and he would just look, we'd both be in chat and we would just look over, and he played it extensively. He knew it in and out. So I would have him in chat with me, and every time I needed help with something, he'd be there to just answer. And for the most part, he'd be like, all right, just, if you need help, just let me know. He kept the backseat gaming to a minimum. It wasn't even there unless I asked. So the first time I played it, I had a reference and I was able to just ask if I needed help or got lost or something. So, fast forward, how many years has it been? I don't know. Fast forward. Yes, I'm streaming the game, but not much people in chat remember the game. So I'm kind of have to go on my own where to go. And there's a challenge to that for sure, because you have to exhaust almost every room and every corner so you can make sure you're at the right place and then decide when to turn back. Because what I've noticed is, and I saw a video of someone talking about, them revisiting Dark Souls 3. So I was watching this video because I'm like, great, I'm in the same situation, right? I'm revisiting this game. And the narrator, I wish I remember who did the video. I missed it, guys. I would tell you if I remember. But he was talking about how when he first played it, he said he thought Dark Souls 3 was the weakest in the trilogy. But now, in retrospect, it's actually one of the strong ones. And compared to Elden Ring, I mean, he went. I couldn't do it justice the way he explained it, and I don't want to put words in that guy's mouth. So I'll leave that video for, if I find it, I'll post it on Discord or whatever. Or maybe you guys can find it if I want. But anyways, a lot of the points that he brought up about that game just really make sense. How it is very linear, how you have to visit some places, some biomes, even if you don't like it. And I'm at that same point right now with with Catacombs, because I remember vaguely, I mean, not vaguely, I remember strongly that Catacombs was murder. Like, oh, you have resurrecting skellies, you've had traps, it's tight and intricate, and don't get me wrong, I do like the twists and turns and the labyrinth part of it, but that one right there was so full of booby traps, and it's like, oof. And like, I remember at one point, there's going to be a gang of skeletons coming after me over a drawbridge, over a wooden plank bridge. I remember that's going to happen, and I remember that did happening. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, in Dark Souls 3, it's very linear. You have to go through the certain path that they carved out. Of course, some areas are kind of open that you can explore when you go to like the road of sacrifice, and of course, undead settlement. But once you get out of those areas, it really just kind of funnels you through. And I wouldn't necessarily call that a bad thing. And it's not a bad thing. It works with that game because the developers are able to know where you're at and where how to scale the enemies, so you're gradually leveling up along the way. If you go somewhere where you're not supposed to be, you can just get knocked into humble. You're gonna have to go grind some levels and come back to be at the appropriate place, or you could keep staying, continue in that same area, farm all the souls, and then level up there. I mean, the world's your oyster when it comes to that game. Yes, it can be punishing if you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, but does that mean you can't play it? You can grind it out, and that's the beauty of Dark Souls 3. So especially going into that after playing Elden Ring, where and my buddy Jackal, I remember him talking about it, where in Elden Ring there's just so many routes you can take to eventually take you to the same place. Yes, to get to the Grand Lift. What's it called? The Dictus Grand Lift. I didn't take it, guys. I went up the mountainside, but to get there, you gotta have 2 souls, and it doesn't matter which bosses they are as long as you have 2 souls. So I mean, just getting there, it's up to you who you want to get there, which bosses you want to fight along the way, and of course, since you're going different routes, the game's gonna have some difficulty spikes here and there that are gonna seem very, very, very steep. And I felt them. I remember playing it. I remember going to Lindell Capital and telling myself, like, I have to go. I have to come back later. I have to come back here later because they're just beating the crap out of me. And even then, once I beat that, and I went up to the very north point to go kill the giant, I remember that part. I was telling myself, they're gonna punish me. I better be ready. I better do some grinding and really explore this area. And it works out for that game still. But you can tell a difference when you're playing Dark Souls 3 and going into Elden Ring, or actually going from Elden Ring back to Dark Souls 3, that there's a difference. And even manipulating the screen to go back to bonfires and everything to go level up. Of course, in Elden Ring, it says, do you want to level up right there at the bonfire? Yes. Dark Souls 3, you got to go all the way back to the Firelink Shrine, find the maiden. Not you have to find her, but she's always there. Talk to the maiden, level up there, and then go back. I mean, it's just Elden Ring just smoothed out all these little rough patches that Dark Souls 3 had. And I wouldn't necessarily call them patches or rough patches. It's just different from the time they had. By the time Elden Ring came out, they were able to refine everything and just make it that much more better. Speaking of Elden Ring, guys, I played it Saturday night after Comic Palooza. I got home. I was doing something. I was messing with my PC or something. And I was like, you know what? I'm up. I said I wanted to go fight the boss at Farum Lazul. Azul Farum. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where everything's all time has distorted everything. And there's a boss there, a dragon boss. Paraxaxis? I don't know. A unique name. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. I was like, where is he? I want to go find him and kill him. Since I beat Melania, I want to go back and finish whatever boss, any major optional bosses that I might have missed. And I think he's the last one I need. I think. But anyways, I was just exploring that area and I was just blown away. If you guys have ever been in that zone, I mean, just looking at it, I was just like, man, it was wonderful. This setting and area and location and just how everything looks, it just goes together so well. And oh man, I just really like that area. And all I did was just run around, explore. I grabbed my Royal Greatsword and my Moonveil Katana and just went around just killing things. Like there was no purpose for me to do anything, but I just wanted to explore and look around things that I might have missed. But yeah, I just had a great time doing that. And it was just, man, I want to play this game again. I can't wait. And I believe the second time I play this game, I'm gonna buy this game again. I am, guys. I'm gonna buy it on the PlayStation 5. I want to experience it on that console. And guys, also, if you've had the experience of playing it both on PC and PlayStation 5, let me know, please. At me and tell me what you guys think of which version you think is optimal. Are they pretty much hand in hand? Are the load times good? Are the graphics fidelity pretty good? Because again, And I know I've said this, and guys, I'm sorry for telling you, but I've said this a million times already. The only issue I had with Elden Ring on PC is the fact that every once in a while you get these frame drops where it just bogs down the frames. Of course, a lot of people say it's probably due to the anti-cheat that they have running in the background, which probably bogs it down. Some people say it's because the world is so massive. It just feels like if they could just get, if Fromsoft could have got a handle on that, if they could have just been able to just take care of that little, that just, that's the only thing that mars this perfect game. And I'm saying, I think this game is perfect. I mean, okay, if it didn't have that, those little Mars, it would be perfect game. It's just wonderful. Anybody who wants, that likes the genre, that likes the challenge, could really get into it. It's so rewarding. I mean, I'm gonna praise it till forever. This is gonna be my game of the year, almost probably one of my top favorite games. Anyways, guys, I've talked about a lot about this game. I want to play it again on the PlayStation, and I also wanted to talk about. I was looking around for stuff to talk about, and I did see the NPD report, the National Purchase Diary. And I mean, I first heard about this organization when I was listening to a podcast called The Easy Allies, and they were bringing it up every once a month to talk about the best game sales, and I always thought that was interesting. So I brought it in as a reference point to talk about when I would do the Option Select podcast with my buddy Ruben. And I still follow it. I still follow them because I'm always curious of what are the best-selling games from time to time. And sometimes I get surprised, and sometimes I'm not surprised. For sure, the games that are generating the most buzz will probably be the top seller of that month, i.e. when Cyberpunk came out, when Final Fantasy came out, when Elden Ring came out. And then there's some games that no matter what, they always stand the test of time and are always top sellers. Your Grand Theft Autos, anything that's Call of Duty, Mario Kart 8, Smash Bros. There's just some games that you just, when you see it on the top 10 bestsellers for that month, you're just not like, okay, yeah, that's seems about right. So I was looking at the one for the bestseller for the month of June, and I saw Elden Ring is still up there, and that just made me. I felt good. I'm glad that since the release of late March, I think it was the 25th, 24th of March when it got, or no, was it February? I think it was February, guys, wasn't it? When it got released, I'll have to look it up. I think it is February. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. But yeah, I'm glad to see that a game like this is still selling. That even though it's a FromSoft games, it's a Souls game, that it's still up there selling. That just gives me hope for that the feedback that From Software gets from this game, that they're just excited and energized to continue making not so much as an Elden Ring 2, but maybe more DLC for Elden Ring, or just something to continue more of its ilk and kind. Because like I said, going back and playing Dark Souls 3 after playing Elden Ring, yeah, they're from soft games, but there's just so many differences, just something unique about these games that someone who hasn't experienced it just doesn't have the pleasure to enjoy the differences between all these games. And they're amazing. And at the same time, if you've played Elden Ring, please play the other FromSoft games. Don't be intimidated. Yeah, some of them are more difficult, i.e. Sekiro. Yeah, sometimes you're more limited on the weapons, i.e. Bloodborne. Yeah, maybe it is an open world and it's more linear, i.e. Dark Souls 3. That's fine. I really feel if you enjoyed Elden Ring so much, give these other titles a shot, please, because I really don't think you'll be disappointed. There's something that's going to be in these other games that you're just going to like and just fall in love with this genre. And it worked for me. Dark Souls 3 was my first one. And then I got into Bloodborne. I enjoyed it. I didn't beat it the first time I played it, but when I came back, I was more invigorated and knew more from playing other games. And then even Sekiro, I won't lie, guys, I was intimidated by that game. I heard so many difficult things about. I mean, just so many stories of how difficulty that. I'm getting excited. So many stories of people saying and their firsthand experience about how difficult Sekiro is. And then, I had my buddy Ruben. He purchased it for me on Steam, and you put your money where your mouth is, dude. You say you play Souls game, right? Play this one. What, I can't say I'm not. I can't, So I did play it, and it was tough. But man, I finally beat it, and dang, that one right there, hands down, the combat is it's probably for sure. Okay, no, not probably. It is the most rewarding combat from all the From Software's games. That's the one. That's what that shines right there. The combat is so you feel like a badass when you get rewarded with the parry, the sound, and you don't get rewarded by doing a crazy amount of damage. That does happen if you get if you land enough parries, but your reward is you survived that one attack, and you get to do it again and again and again, and then you learn the moves, and you realize you're parrying everything. You're reading all their moves. You know what's going to happen. You're able to just anticipate their next attack. You're doing a Mirikiri counter. You're jumping out of the way of a low attack, or you're side rolling out of a command grab. You're using your prosthetic for the best possible answer, and then you finally get one stock of their life off, and then of course shadows die twice. You have to do it again. I was like, that's just, it's so, sometimes it just feels so preposterous, like I'm not gonna do this. The game says yes, you will, and you can. And guys, I'm telling you, if y'all just played Elden Ring and y'all just appreciate for what it is, and sank so many hours into it, I'm telling you guys, please try out the other ones. Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. Even though they are a little bit more, or if you have access to PS5, if you could play Demon Souls. I mean, that one was, yeah. I did talk about how I did feel it was antiquated with the green leaves for your pots and everything. Well, not your pots, but just to get your life back. It did kind of, wasn't the best. But once you get past that, I mean, of course, it's just there really is something there, and I implore all of you guys to try it out. And again, just going back to the MPD report, seeing that up there as being one of the top sellers for the month of June just got me really hyped, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. I want to play it on the PlayStation 5. I do plan on purchasing a copy for that. But again, what I said about Returnal, I want to make sure my capture card situation is set, because I want to stream it, and I don't want the audio to be. I don't want the audio to just be out of sync. Even if I can't stream it, maybe I'll just purchase it anyway and just play it off stream. I don't know. Yeah. I want to change. Actually, don't want to change gears. Not just yet. I still want to stay on Elden Ring. Because recently I saw. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Sony's, is it Santa Monica Studios? They had a little video unboxing the collector's edition and the, let me see, what's it called? I wrote a note, guys. And the Jotnar edition for God of War 2022. And honestly, guys, y'all might have heard me before. I'm not the biggest fan of Sony's first-party developers. I've gone ad nauseum about how I feel about these companies, but the one I did play and really enjoyed and actually completed the story was 2018's God of War. So from all of them that's coming out from in-house Sony, this is the one I will pick up day one. This is the one I'm excited. When I knew Forbidden West was coming out, I didn't care. When I heard news of the remake of Last of Us coming out, I didn't care. When Last of Us 2 was coming out, I didn't care. I did pick up Ghost of Tsushima when it came out, but honestly, I was disappointed because it felt like another open world with a Edo period Japan setting as a backdrop. Okay, cool. I never finished that one. I got to Act 2 and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. What else did they have? The one with Deacon St. John. What's that one called? The creators are basically like, we like Sons of Anarchy and we like The Walking Dead. So we mix those two together. What's it called? Days Gone. That one didn't interest me at all. No, Ruben liked it. And look, guys, if you like those games, please enjoy them. That's what we're here for, right? To celebrate games and talk about them and enjoy it. But me personally, there's not much in the wheelhouse for first party Sony that makes me want to get on day one. But God of War, though, that's a slightly different story. Even though I do have some critiques about it, I do like some of the action sequence parts. I do like the gameplay. I do like the banter between Atreus and Kratos, and who was the head that they had hanging off their? They had hanging off as held. I forgot, but them able to just talk about amongst themselves. I did like that a lot. Coffee break. Hold on, guys. Oh, this coffee getting cold. But so that's the one that I am looking forward to. I will be purchasing that day one. I will be getting a physical copy because I am a fan of physical copies. But that one will be just the plain Jane base edition. Just give me the CD, please. Just that's all I need. Give me the disc so I could put it into my PlayStation. Let me rephrase that. So I could put that into my wife's PlayStation, download the information, and then play the game with the CD because apparently the information is already on the system. I don't know how that works out. That drives me nuts. But I'd rather have a CD. Okay, that's just me personally, guys. Because if any of my buddies say, "Hey, Rick," if they come over and like, "Hey, can I borrow this game?" Yeah, here, borrow it. Here's a physical copy. Borrow it. That's what I like doing that. Okay. So I do plan on picking that one up, just the base edition. And when I was watching the video of them unboxing all the items, I was thinking to myself, man, some of this stuff is really cool. And if I was a big fan of God of War, and if I was also into the whole North pantheon of Northology and Northology, is that a word? If I was into that, then this collector edition will be kind of cool. Having, ammonia and little figurines and the rune dice, that probably will be cool. I mean, look, guys, I'm not going to dog on people that collect things because if you look at my background, I do like to collect some things, okay? But it's the stuff that I really like. God of War, like, as much as I like the game, that's all I do like about it. It's just the game. Now, you know what they say about hindsight? Hindsight being 2020, right? I kind of kicking myself for missing out on the collector's edition of Elden Ring. I do want a Millennia statue that came with it. I would have liked that. I think that would have been boss because that boss actually means something to me. It hasn't been a boss like that in a Souls game that I spent so much. Maybe Owl Father that I spent a long time with, but I think I spent more time on Millennia than anybody else. Specifically, her waterfall dance. That one messed me up. So I would have liked to have had that statue. But and also the other one that I kicking myself for missing out on was the one for, I think it was 2018, 2017, 2019, 2018. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. And hold on, guys, before y'all lose all y'all stuff and start talking shit. Yes, the Infinity Stones that came with it look like Easter eggs, but that's not what I wanted. It was the statues that I wanted. Iron Man, I think it was Chun-Li, Ryu, and somebody else. I think, was it Mega Man or something? I forgot. But those statues, I went to a Retropalooza. It's a con that they have here in Texas where it's about old video game system, antiquated systems, old school video games and systems where they sell. And one of the booths was selling those figurines, and I missed it. And somebody came up to me and like, "Hey, Rick, look what I got." I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, somebody was selling them dirt cheap." I'm like, I was like, "Oh, of course." Look, you guys know me. I like Capcom. I like their fighting games. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was one of my favorite games. I just missed out on the opportunity. So twice I missed out. So next time I know a game that's gonna come out that I know I'm gonna purchase day one, and I have 100% faith in, I'm gonna maybe again maybe get the collector's edition, because you never know. You don't want to miss out. Well, okay, I know the fear, the FOMO can be real, but every once in a while, if you know it's a franchise that you love, that you know, why not, right? I mean, I'm not saying we're all collectors, but I am. It's one of my things that I like. I like to look at my, when I'm cleaning, dusting off my bookshelf, and just look back and reminisce and think about, oh yeah, man, the good times I had. I mean, I guess that's what they serve, right? What else, guys, that I want to talk about? But anyways, yeah, that's like, I do know, before we wrap it up, guys, because I'm kind of a little bit short on time, cutting it close again. I do know From Software is releasing these nice books that have lore and backstories of all the characters and the locations of the game. And I know some of you guys are saying, Rick, just look at the internet, you get all the information. But there's something about There's something about having just a nice book in your hand and able to flip the pages and smell the print and just look at it and just able to read it and just hold it in your hands. There's something about that you can't get from looking at a monitor. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's something that I like for sure. To just have it here. I don't want to always be glued to my monitor. Sometimes I want to just read a book and look through the pages and get some backstory and just enjoy it, and not have someone narrate it for me or read it for me. Just me read it and comprehend it and break it down. What does this mean to me when I read it in the moment? So that's something I want to look forward to. I don't know when they're coming out, but I think they have pre-orders coming out soon. So I think I will be jumping down on that. And again, going back to God of War, and I've been piggybacking back and forth. If there is a possible contender for Game of the Year, it could be that. But I still don't think it'll hold a candle to Elden Ring. From what Elden Ring has done, it was literally it was something. It caused such a big stir in the video game world that it's undeniable. It really isn't. If you haven't heard of Elden Ring, if you are a video game enthusiast and you haven't heard about that about Elden Ring, you've been under a rock this time, 100%. Because I'm sure everyone has heard about it and just has seen videos and just fan art and just whatever. Yeah. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for me today. There's a lot more stuff I could have talked about, and I'm going to save this topic for another day. Maybe just visit again and talk about it some more at another date. But for right now, guys, that's done. I want to say thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Again, the OS Rick Project. Follow me on the social, guys. Say hello. Drop by and give me a... yeah, man. Like, guys, if you just want to reach out and say hello and just give me some constructive criticism, say what's up. I really appreciate it. And again, guys, y'all just listening, it really makes my day. I really appreciate it because I like doing this. But when I know there's someone out there that gets to enjoy it and just gets to think about something and see something from a different perspective, different view, and that, to me, that's special, and I said this before also when I do my streaming. I love playing video games, but when I get to hang out with you guys and chit chat and socialize and just have a good time while playing a video game, that what really makes my day, or when you guys drop by and say hello. So honestly, guys, that's the best way to help me out, is just drop a line, say hello, see what's up, share it, word of mouth, talk to your friends about it. If you like it, hey man, if you want to help out, that's the best thing you can do right now, besides donating. But that's another story. That's only if you want to, and it's only to help the channel grow. But anyways, guys, I am done for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a good week. Have a wonderful, even better weekend. Play some games, work on your backlog, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys. Peace out.